Good morning. This is my last show, barring breaking news. Who knows what's going to happen? But until November 1st. November 1st will be the first show of our official third season at Political Paula. So, very excited about that. But today, I was watching the news this morning. Today's show is titled Too Much Stuff. And I think most of you will get it once I keep going here. We saw the aftermath today, some of it for the first time, of Hurricane Florence. And what I saw sitting outside everybody's curb, in front of everybody's house, down in the Carolinas, was a bunch of stuff. And that stuff was destroyed. It's ruined. It's good to no one. It's all replaceable. But then I look back to some interviews that were done before the hurricane struck, when people were being told, get out, evacuate. And many people did not evacuate because they couldn't, because they were poor, because they had nowhere to go. They stayed behind because no one would take their pets. Still, even after Katrina, we talked about that in the last show. Most shelters now do make accommodations for pets, but not always. But there were other people who said to news reporters, I'm staying to protect my stuff, to protect my house. And tragically, they're right to a point. We saw it already in the Carolinas. There was a video of criminals, because the good, decent, hard-working, tax-paying citizens of that town, the business owners who worked their whole lives to have a business, they evacuated. The criminals stayed. They rode out the storm so that they could pillage and loot and forage for other people's stuff to steal from them, from their neighbors. We saw a group of young men with t-shirts over their heads so they wouldn't be identified, looting a Family Dollar store, taking stuff. Thing is, if the business owner is a responsible business owner, that stuff is insured. That stuff can be replaced. But the business owner's life cannot be replaced. He dies in the storm, he's dead. The stuff is not all that important. So let's talk about stuff. People who stayed behind to protect their stuff, to protect a brick and mortar house, which is walls, plaster, wallpaper, carpeting, furniture. Doesn't feel pain, people. Your house is a house. It's not a living, breathing thing. Bad things will happen to it. And it doesn't care. It doesn't talk. It doesn't walk. It doesn't have a heart. The heart of a house is the people who live in it. The living, breathing people. That's what makes a house a home. Not the stuff. Not the walls. Not the backyard. Not the jacuzzi. Not the in-ground pool. And yet many people are willing to risk their lives to protect stuff. Me included, by the way. Me included. Believe you me, I am as guilty as anybody else. I love my library, my collection of books. But how often do I look at my library? Do I walk in and say, oh, look at all my books? Not very much, to be very honest with you. And yet, the first thing I think about when I worry, even when we're not here, no humans or our dog, we're all somewhere else, I am terrified. Oh my God, what if we have a fire? My books, my DVDs. I fret about that. Why do I fret about that? What is it about stuff that makes us feel more important? The more stuff we have, the more important we feel. We have arrived. We have books. We have arrived. We have the entire seasons, all the seasons of Game of Thrones on DVD. Gotta protect them. God forbid a storm comes. We're going to sit here in a hurricane because I don't want the Game of Thrones DVD collection to get ruined. I mean, come on. It's stuff. And yes, I do have stuff. I have things that I can't replace. I have certain DVDs that I can't replace because they no longer make them, or they're extremely expensive to replace. But at the end of the day, I've already watched the DVD multiple times. So, is the DVD more important than my life? No, it's not. And yet, I do understand the feeling that, yes, it is. I mean, I worked hard to find some of these DVDs with my favorite actor in it, Rutger Hauer. I won't be able to replace those if a hurricane takes them away. But at least I can say I saw the movie. And that's all that matters. How often can you watch a DVD? I have the whole seasons of The Sopranos. I maybe watch the entire series every couple of years. When I'm bored down at the bay or when the TV goes out, I stick in a Sopranos DVD. But the fact that we covet our stuff sometimes more than our own lives, that's scary. And what did these people in the hurricane zone think that they were going to do when the storm came? Well, we're going to sit here and we're going to tell Florence to get the fuck out and go to the next house because we're here. You can't stop Mother Nature. You can't stop the hurricane from damaging your property. And from what I've seen on the curbs in New Bern, North Carolina, anybody who stayed to protect their stuff, well, they put themselves at risk for absolutely nothing because their stuff is gone. They have no stuff. And they're really lucky that they got out with their lives. Some did not. About 35 now people died. And they didn't die in a shelter. They didn't die if they evacuated and went somewhere north or somewhere real far west. They died because they stayed. Some of them. It's not their fault. It's human nature. And this is what I want to talk to you about today because I have a challenge for all of you. And I'm going to take the challenge myself and report about it this winter. My winter project, because I also have far too much stuff. And I find myself thinking, when was the last time I looked at some of my stuff? When was the last time I even thought about, is that still there? Let me go find out. And my question to me is, if I haven't looked at it, appreciated it, or even thought about it for the last 2 years, it's leaving my house. It's going to go away. It's going to go in a box. It's going to go out on the front curb. It's going to be free to a good home. And it'll become somebody else's treasure because it is now my junk. People who have clothes in their closet that are 5 sizes too small for them. Well, I really liked that dress. I know I'm going to lose 25 pounds and I'll be fitting into it. That was like 3 years ago. Guess what? If it's been 3 years or 2 years and you haven't lost the 20 pounds, get rid of it. You're not going to fit into it. Donate it to Goodwill. Donate it so someone who can fit into it but couldn't afford it can enjoy it. Don't let it take up space in your mind, in your closet. Don't let it be part of your stuff that you have to stay home in a major catastrophe storm to protect. It's not worth it. Not worth it. What makes a house a home is not the stuff. Most people who come into your home don't look at your stuff and go, oh, wow, look, stuff. They come into your home to see you, to have a meal, to sit around a table. That's what makes a house a home. The living human beings and the fur babies who inhabit it with beating hearts. The friends and family who come to congregate, share a meal, celebrate a holiday or a birthday. That's what makes a house a home, not the stuff. Most stuff is replaceable. People say, oh, pictures. Guess what? You can put all of your pictures that mean something to you on the cloud. I have pictures hanging on my wall, family pictures. They're not irreplaceable. The frames are. But if all those pictures went away right now, all I have to do is push a button, send off to Shutterfly, get copies of the pictures sent to me by mail, get new frames, hang them back up. They're definitely not worth risking my life for. There have been homes that catch fire and people run back in to grab books or DVDs or PlayStations or pictures. No, you don't do that. Because even in the worst case scenario, if you lose the picture, you have the living person who was in the picture standing in front of you right now. That's much more important because you can take more pictures. You can take more pictures. But you can't get another person. You can't get a replacement if someone perishes in a fire. Like I said, I'm as guilty as all of you. But I'm going to tell you something that I have done it in the past, and it's really interesting. It's really awesome to do. I pick one area, one drawer, one cabinet, and I go through everything. And I do my test. Have I thought about it, looked at it, or do I really even still care about it in the last year? I say I do a year. You can do 2 years if it makes you feel safer. But I say in the last year, have I even said, I wonder where that is? If the answer is no, it goes in the box and it leaves the house. And nothing feels better than having that nice, clean, empty drawer or cabinet. It gives peace. Like, wow, so fucking cool. Now I have room for more stuff. I'll see y'all November 1st. Political poll is out.